Gonna get ready to do some more clocks. Can't wait. So let me show you what I do. I got a pack of these albums from Amazon. 15 albums. Can't remember what I paid for. A little bit for $1 a piece. But these are a great thing to pour on. These are great to do the resin geodes that I'm going to do again. So yeah, they come in the old sleeves. And what did I get today? I got Joe Finger's car and his swinging string band. And another one I had was the Greatest 64 Motown Originals with Diana Ross, The Temptations. These are some classics. These classics are going to be made into beautiful art. So the first thing I'm going to do, take a little alcohol, clean off the top surface that I will be doing the resin on. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put hot glue on here to make a couple of rings to kind of pour my resin in the channels. And then I am going to gesso this to give it a base coat before I put on a base coat of acrylic color, and then everything else will be resin on top of that. So just cleaning off the surface, any dirt, anything like that. And then on the back side, I'm going to put a piece of frog tape to block that hole from the resin pouring through. But what will happen is I'll resin over it and everything, and then once it's cured, we just drill through this to put the clock part that will come through the hole and be attached to the back. And I get my clock parts. I bought one from Amazon to try it out, but typically I get them at Michael's. And for the albums, these record sizes, 33s, whatever, they need the 1/4 inch shaft that goes through. You don't want it any longer than that, or it really will stick out a whole lot. I don't put any crystals in the center of the thing so that the hands are not going to conflict with anything sticking up. I only put the crushed glass around the outside rim. That way the hands are free, and you just do the pretty artwork with your resin and acrylics in the center part. So you'll see the process as I do it. The other thing is I always tape off the back of anything that I'm going to resin, and it's kind of hard to tape a circle, so the easiest thing to do is to just trace out on some contact paper. This is clear contact paper, but it doesn't matter if it's clear, wood, see-through, not see-through, but this is see-through. Once the circle is cut out, I save the other pieces, and if you pour on the shiny side on the back, you can tape this down on something flat and leave the bottoms of your pour cups. You can pour your pour paint out and use acrylic skins from these. So I saved all those pieces. But the reason I use contact paper is because with resin you want to tape off the back so that your drips and everything do not stick to the back just like you would on a canvas or wooden panels or any of those surfaces. And so it's just easier to use contact paper. It sticks wonderfully and it peels right off and takes the resin drippings with it. So it works really, really well. This is great for the backs of tiles as well. It's a lot faster than taping with frog tape a million times. You just firmly press it out, get out all the bubbles, and it's nice and tight on the back. and now my resin drips will not stick. If I have any edges that are a little too much left over, I just cut them off so that I don't have a lip of resin that is sticking out from the album. So that looks pretty good. Now you might ask, why do I put the frog tape on there first? Because frog tape is super tacky, super sticky. It will keep anything from bleeding through under the tape, whereas contact paper is made to be kind of a peel and stick and repositionable thing. It's great for the drips and all and fingerprints, but I don't trust it to not let the resin bleed through underneath, and I don't want any resin on the back side. So that's why I do the frog tape first before the contact paper. Okay, so now I want a couple of channels that I can go ahead and put out with my hot glue, and this just kind of gives me areas to pour my resin and let it puddle between a raised area. In the grand scheme of things, when the resin is all poured about a 1/4 inch thick, you'll never see this hot glue lump, but it keeps my colors separated into channels. And like I said, I'll have crushed glass in resin around the edge, and that will kind of build a dam so that my resin doesn't pour over the edge to begin with. One here, and I'm not gonna try to get it to like a perfect circle. I want it to be a little wonky, because you know, geodes aren't always perfectly round, right? Any area that I see that's a little thin. The thing I don't like about hot glue guns are the strings. Okay. And the reason I didn't go anywhere closer to the edge is because of my numbers that I'll be putting around the clock. You don't want your raised edges to be where you need to lay your numbers down on a flatter which will be laid into the resin. So that's why I stay probably 2 inches roughly for the most part away from the edge of that's probably the closest edge right there. So I'm going to let this totally cool down and not be hot anymore, and then once that's cooled down, then I will do a layer of gesso. And you can tell as it cools down, it starts to get white. These are clear glue sticks, but as it cools down, it turns to a kind of a milky color, just like it is in the stick. And then I'm going to use Liquitex Basics gesso. You could use primer, acrylic based primer that's, you know, house paint, just something to put a white base coat on here and give it something really good that the acrylic colors will cling to, and then the resin will go over everything with sparkles and glitter and color, and it'll be gorgeous. I'll be back later. Wanted to show you this. I ordered it on michaels.com. It's by Art Minds Clock Movement Kit, and it is a 1/4 inch shaft, which is the smallest shaft you can get, the shortest for like albums and vinyls. It does not come with numbers, so I ordered those from Amazon. And There will be a link in my video below. I'm going to take a piece of plastic tape and lift off all the strings from the hot glue. Now, I'm going to put a light coat of gesso on. Well, not a light coat, a good coat. You don't have to get a ton of it out, but this also keeps the label from bleeding through, that kind of thing as well. It's just a good idea. I'll probably put 2 coats on. Some gessos are this one's a thicker one, but it doesn't do like full coverage. It's, Liquitex Basics. So it's probably like a student grade gesso. It's not their most expensive. And it doesn't matter about brush strokes or anything like that, because we're going to put a couple of coats of acrylic on here to and it doesn't smell good either. I just want to add that in real quick. It just does not smell good. It takes maybe an hour to dry, and then I can recoat it again. Okay, second coat. As you see, you can see through this, and you definitely don't want that with putting on a layer of acrylics or resin. You want it pretty insignificant, so it's best to gesso it and get rid of it. I think I'll do one more coat and let this dry. I'll be back. Okay, I'm gonna put a white base coat just to get it nice and bright white. Then I'll put the colors on after this coat dries. This one I'm going to use the gold numbers on from this clock kit that I still have numbers left over from. So those numbers I'll use for that, but I'm going to adjust this this did not turn out pretty. It came out kind of it doesn't have any shimmer to it, and the pigment powder didn't show up well. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of acrylic paints and paint over that, and then still come in with some other color for lines. So I'm going to have to brush in a little bit of something on that I like. And my studio lighting doesn't do things justice. I have to get it out in the daylight, and I'll post pictures at the end of the finished piece. I'm going to cover this up so there's no dust on it. It's on! Now, I'll show it to you outside because it looks so different in the camera than it looks in real life as far as, you know, colors and stuff. I got these little syrupy drips that I'll cut off, but they're like coming out in strings. But anyway, there it is. I will show the final pictures with the clockworks and outside when they're totally cured. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell on the bottom right to get notifications if you're a subscriber when I post new videos, and make sure to, you know, follow me on the other social media platforms. And if you want to send a little donation my way, there's PayPal link below, and my Amazon list, which is totally free for you to go in, and if you click on it, you can purchase anything at regular Amazon prices. I get a little tiny percentage, but I have a lot of recommended products that I love to use. And my Facebook group is fabulous. Come join us there. I would love to have you there as part of our family. So I love you all. I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.